Rhea scrambled to step back, not knowing how she had become separated from them so quickly. But the men would not let her pass. A hand like a shackle closed over her wrist and pulled her sideways through the throng. Tai, noticing her absence, had come to collect her, she was sure. The relief that Tai had found her shattered as Rhea found herself staring into Cass's greedy brown eyes. His other hand cut off her scream as he dragged her forward toward the edge of the street. His grip was brutal. His hand crushed her wrist, bruising her flesh, while the arm of the hand across her mouth felt like a steel band caging her chest. As he pulled her down an alley, barely a doorway wide, Rhea stumbled against him, feeling the length of his body against hers. She began to struggle, writhing and kicking. The hand over her mouth let go. Rhea sucked in air before it was knocked out of her again by the hand across her face.
"Stop it. You're worth more to me unblemished, but not by much,"
Cassus hissed into her ear. Spittle from his breath full of staleness and rot sprayed her cheek. He put his hand back over her mouth. Rhea peered at him, so close to her face, from the corner of her eye. Her heart was a double beat without pause, so that her whole chest ached. Something like acid rose below the fear, eating it away from the bottom up. Cassus pulled her further forward. She bit his hand. Rhea felt like she stood over a bonfire. Flames of power rose up her legs, easing the pressure on her chest. She did not care what it would bring. She would crush this man who was assaulting her. Cassus' hand pulled back to strike her again. She pushed the power at him with her desire to see him die at her feet. Nothing happened. The power winked out, leaving her cold and alone. Terror throttled her throat as Cassus' hand fell toward her. Then he stopped. His face drained of blood, even his lips turning blue-white. Weakly, he clutched at his chest and staggered backwards into the wall behind him. Before Rhea could react, Tai stood with a knife held to Cassus' throat. Trembling so hard she couldn't stand, Rhea slid down the wall, wrapping her arms around her knees. Above her, Tai's knife bit a red line into Cassus' neck.
"If I see you again, I will kill you," he said.
Eye to eye and inches from Cassus' face, Tai didn't look like he wanted to wait. Every line on him was barely restrained fury. Rhea did not recognize him. Tai turned and thrust Cassus down the alleyway. Cassus tripped, caught himself against the narrow wall, staggered once, and then took off, running.